Hi guys, back again for day 3, Cheltenham Festival Preview 2019. We're going to start off with the JLT Novice Chase. Where do we start? The best form line we've probably got for this race is going to be the top two in the betting. Defi Desoy and Lost in Translation. They've taken it turns to beat each other. Defi won the Triumph back here in 2017. He shows favouritism at the minute in most lists, but he may go to the Arkle now, as we see in video 1, due to Livrichburg being injured. Defi Desoy jumped exceptional last time when he turned the form. I can see Barry stalking Lost in Translation again and picking him up the hill, leaving it late. I don't think he'd take him till definitely after the last. But they're two probably the best horses in the race here. Like I said, Defi could go to the other one. If he does, Lost in Translation will definitely get shorter. Glenn Forza is short in the betting here, 8-1. He's also in the Arkle. I'd probably say he goes Arkle, definitely. Real Steel 8's top of the game won't go here. Delta Work, they'll both go to the RSA. Klanashnikov will go to the Arkle. So a few of these in the top of the betting, we've got 5 of these in the top 7 in the betting could go to the Arkle. If that's the case, I think the biggest value I can see on paper is Kildesart, Ben Pauling's horse. If he turns up here, to me, he's not top grade 1 quality horse. But having said that, if this race falls apart, this could be definitely right up his street. He had a victory in a handicap on Festival Trials Day. He got beat £6. That raised him up to 147. That's within striking distance of the market principles here anyway. He's definitely not going to be out of place in this field. 16-1 is huge at the minute for him. If we do say Defi, Glenn Forza, top of the game, Delta Work, Klashnikov don't run here, he goes off definitely single figures. So at the minute, if it's non-running on a bet and he's 20-1, by God, you need to take it because that won't last very long. Where else do we go here? I think Defi if he runs here, he definitely is going to be in the first 2. Lost in Translation again. He's not a horse that I would like to be on. He finished down the field in the Supreme last year. Lost in Translation. He looks a better chaser. Of course he does. But I think if the 2 turn, he definitely finishes in front of him. If not, I think I'd take him on still. I'd take him on because if Defi doesn't run, he will go off a lot shorter than what he is now, 7-2. Of the others, Camellia de Kock might run here. The mare of Willie Mullins and Rich Ritchie's, she would have a good price each way. Again, these prices could really plummet. It was won last year by Gordon Elliott's Shattered Love, who could potentially run the Gold Cup this year. So it could be a good trial for a Gold Cup. I don't think any of these are good enough to win a Gold Cup, in my opinion, without improvement. So at the minute, if Defi Desoy runs, I'll be on Defi Desoy. And each way, would definitely be Kildesart. Onto the Ryanair, which is the graded race. It's 2 mile 5. It's in between Gold Cup distance and the Champion Chase. You get a lot of horses that don't stay Gold Cup go here. You also get a lot of horses that haven't got the toe for the Champion Chase here. Apologies. At the minute, Surname is top of the betting at the minute 4-1. Not going to run here. I'm pretty confident that they're going to go Punchestown Gold Cup with that horse. He looked mightily impressive when winning last time, but we're not going to talk about him too much because I don't think he goes here. The one I would want to be on is Henry de Bromhead's Monolith. He does have an entry in the Gold Cup. I think they'd be silly to go to the Gold Cup route. I think he's a better horse over this. He won the Flow Gas last year at the Dublin Racing Festival at Leopardstown when he jumped really well. When winning that day, I think Album Photo fell back in the field. He would be the one I sided with. He finished second to Presenting Percy last year in the RSA. If he goes Gold Cup, I can't see him finishing in front of Presenting Percy again. He looked good. He's looked okay this year. He's not looked anything, brilliant. He had a good run, third behind Snow Falcon. Then he finished behind Kenboy in the Savills Chase. They dropped back in trip to 2 mile 4, which I think is his middle distance horse in the Red Mills. It was only a 4-runner race. Beat Annabelle Fly there. He won cozy enough for me. I think he won with a lot in hand. He'd be the one I would side with in here. The big question marks are whether Min and Footpad, which one's going to go here. They're both not going to go here. We know that. They're going to be split apart. I could probably see Footpad ending up in here and Min in the Champion. I don't know. Footpad's not looked the same horse this year as he was last year. There was only 5 runners in the Arkle last year. He did jump brilliant, but he got beat by St Calvados this year, first time out. Then he got beat by Simply Ned. I couldn't be having him if I'm honest. in a race like this. I mean, he's 8-1. He might even take on Altior. So at the minute, I mean, if you're going to bet, you might as well. It's nominal no bet. So if you fancy footpad, you might as well back him for the race. But you know, you get your money back if he doesn't run. Others, Frodon's 10-1. He's not going to go here. Underso is a horse I like. Finished second behind Shattered Love, Balco de Flow, in this race last year. Wins 2 mile, he wins 2.5 mile. Very versatile, very ground dependent. I think if it turned up better ground, I think 2.5 is his optimum. I think when it's quick over 2 mile, I think he gets beat. So I think if it went soft, which we know it's probably not going to go, I'd probably say he goes to take on Altior, but he would have a chance, and he's 10-1. His last 2 runs are probably his best form figures. Finished by an Altior this year. Not beaten too far, but he also won in Ireland last year after the festival. So you know that's not form to be knocked. Top Notch is a lovely little horse. I love him. He'll give you a run. He'll give you a really good run for your money in here. He's 10-1. Road to Respect, I think, goes Gold Cup. Waiting patiently in here after he got trounced by Surname last time. They look after him too. There's a horse. There's a saying that, you know, wrap him up in cotton wool, but for me, you know, he looks like he needs runs waiting patiently. You know, he did get beat by Surname last time. Surname could be exceptional, we don't know. Massive improver. But for me, he fell early in the King George, so he's only had 1 run this year. He'll probably come on for that run, granted. Whether he's good enough to win a Ryanair is debatable. Balco de Flow's been disappointing this year. He could end up in here again, last year's winner. You know, it's a race that again could cut up Album Photo, Ken Boy that are in the betting here. They're going to clearly go to Gold Cup route. So for me, I'm going to stick with Monolith. He's best price now, 5-1 for the Ryanair. Stayers Hurdle, main race on day 3. Kick it off with Penhill. Penhill won last year's race. He's not been seen since he finished second behind Faheen. He did get smashed by Faheen that day, and he's not been seen since. He'll come here fresh. He won the Albert Bartlett here. He then went on to win this race last year. For me, Willie Mullins knows how to train these horses lightly. He did it with the Master Cavega. He's done it with Penhill already, so we know we'll go here. I think he'll be very hard to beat. You know, and he's only the price he is now because we've not seen him. He's 6-1 best price. He's going to be interesting. The horse that beat him in Ireland at the Punchestown Festival was the wonderful Faheen, the champion hurdle winner. He is getting old now, but he looked like he was running his race. He was travelling very well when he took that horrible fall against Apple's Jade. I mean, that for me was not nice to see at all. But I think he could turn up and beat anything in here. We know he's a 3-miler. We know he's got class. Whether he's still got it in him, I don't know. But he could be he's 10-1. He could be huge. A lovely story. We see Paisley Park, the favourite here. I mean, he was well down the field in the Albert Bartlett last year. When I mean well down the field, he was nearly last. He was one of the first beat that day. You know, he was ridden to finish the race, and he did in the end, but very far back down the field in that behind Kilbrick and Storm. But he's leapt to the head of the market here this year. There's no doubt he's improved. You know, the first 2 were in handicaps under a big weight, and the last one in the Grade 1 at Cheltenham, he was brilliant. He was breathtaking. He looked beat 3 out, and then suddenly came back and sprinted clear of the field that day, and he did sprint clear. And rightly so. He probably deserves to be focused. We've seen him this year. Reservations of whether he, I've still got that Cheltenham run last year for me. I don't know whether he can beat Penhill on that form. But this year he's improved, like we said. The flying yeoman for me is definitely going to be Sam Crow. We thought he was going to be spectacular. I thought he was going to go chasing this year, to be honest. But they wanted to go the champion hurdle route. They wanted a champion hurdle horse, which they've now got in Apple's Jade. So we thought that he was done for the year. Disappointed first time out. He was beaten by Bedrock. He was then behind champion hurdle favourite Beaver Dare, which again you thought, no, not too bad. Then he disappointed in that run behind Sharjah again. So they're looking they might step up him in trip here. Gordon Elliott has said it's 50-50 whether he goes here. I think he'll end up running here, and he could be class. We've seen that last year. I saw him when he won at the Leopardstown Racing Festival last year. He looked really good. He looked really good that day, and I thought I saw a star. He then came out and won the 2.5 mile race here last year, the Ballymore. But I don't think that race has worked out very well at all. He beat Black Hop, who is going to be running here. He's 14-1. I don't think that race. There's not been many winners that have come out of that race at all. So I would be siding with Penhill and Faheen in this race of the others. Kilbrick and Storm, who won the Albert Bartlett last year, hasn't enjoyed chasing, so he goes here. He might be worth a little squeak at 25s. But for me, my nap would be Penhill, best price 6-1. Onto the Mayor's Novice Hurdle now, and this could be a really 50-50 battle. This has Honeysuckle v Epatante written all over it. Henry de Bobhead's Honeysuckle. And she's unbeaten her 3 starts this season. She looked very impressive along the way and won a point last April by 15 lengths. She was sent off odds-on favourite Fairyhouse on her hurdles debut over 2.5. She bolted up by 15 lengths that day from Muscovite. She went into most people's notebooks after that performance from that day. Her next run, she won a listed race at Thurles where she beat Sassy Diva, who's come out and won again. She won hard held that day by 3 lengths. Henry de Bobhead brought her on steadily, stepped her up in grade to grade 3 at Fairyhouse. She went off 6-4 and won by 6 lengths, none other. Between her speed between the last 2 flights was unbelievable that day. She's done everything that's asked of her so far. You know, she is at the minute, I think she's second favourite behind Epatante now at 7-2. There's not much between them in the betting. The other horse, Epatante, who I mentioned, very lightly raced. I mean, she won on a UK debut and she slammed her opposition. Absolutely unbelievable. She won a Grade 1 bumper in France. So that, you know, to me is solid form. You know, she ran again the weekend and she bolted up. You know, she rightly so. I don't think there was much in behind, to be honest. But she could be special the way she travelled. She's 3-1 favourite now. I can see it being a 2-horse race. I would, if I had to pick one, pick one right now on the spot, I would be leaning towards JP McManus' horse, Epatante. Of others in there, Posh Trish at Paul Nicholls. You know, she's a tough old little mare. She's 10-1. She could be with a place. Elusive Bell is another one that could be interesting for Nikki Henderson. It was bought by the Whaley Cohens. She made a really good impression on debut at Wincanton. She travelled really well. She won by 19 lengths. Has come out. She's beaten since at Sandown, but you know that horse looked like it had class that day. But again, I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to go Epatante here. I think she would end up shorter on the day as well. She's best price 3-1 at the minute. So if you want to back her, I would definitely say back her now. Onto the Pertemps now, which a lot of these horses have been racing against each other in qualifiers for this. It's been won by some classy horses in the past. Last year by Delta Work, the previous year presenting Percy. You know, it's a minefield normally because this normally, you know, it's packed full of runners. 20 years. The average price here must be really high, but you know, must be really big. We've had some really big prices over the years. 50-1 chance has also gone in here before. Side of Burley is the one for me, head of the market. He finished 6th in a qualifier at Leopardstown last time over Christmas. He was given a very gentle ride that day and he snuck into 6th place, which is the last qualifying place for this race that day. Trained by Gordon Elliott. He won the race last year with Delta Work. He knows what's needed to win this race, so that would be a huge plus for me. Of the others in here, I like first Simon of Ian Williams. The horse has won twice at the track early part of the year. First by a short head, then went on to win a listed handicap by 9 lengths. He was up to in grading trip last time, finishing 3rd behind the favourite of the stayers, Paisley Park. So that undoubtedly is very, very good form. As long as he hasn't got hiked up in the weights too much, we haven't had the weights out yet. As long as he hasn't gone up too much, I think he'd be one to keep on side. His best price 14s at the minute. Side of Burley's 10s, they're the two probably at the minute. You've got Eclair de Beaufort at 20-1 who could be well in. But again, I can't make too many decisions because I don't know what the weights will throw up at us at the minute. So at the minute, I'll go with them two. Moving on to the Brown Advisory Plate. Again, I haven't really got too much input on this one because, again, the weights are going to decide a lot in here. You know, Happy Diva would be probably one. Again, that could go in here. You've got Sire du Lac at 12's favourite at the minute. Benatar 20s, Calypto 20s, Do It for the Village 20s, Spirit of the Games 20s. There's loads in there that are all around around that price at the minute. But I would definitely hold your horses literally at the minute before making a decision on who you're going to back there, because on the day you'll get firms that will offer 5, 6 places, maybe 7 places in some. So if you're going to back, I'll definitely back each way in this race, but I would definitely wait for now. The Kim Muir won last year by Missed Approach. That's another race at the minute with, I mean, I want to give you some sort of input, but at the minute, you could say it's all guesswork. And that is actually the favourite for the race at the minute. Have you know, it's all guesswork. But this race is definitely that. Who could end up here? We don't know. Whisper in the Breeze is 12s. Has entered in 3 races, I think, at the festival. Impulsive Stars entered in 2 or 3. Blow by Blow, another one I've said earlier in previous videos. Whatever race he turns up back, so he could end up going here. No Comment is 16s. Dename escapes me 16s. Barney Dwan at 20s. Good. Again, until we know what gets in and what ratings and what weights they have, I probably wouldn't make a decision at the moment. So to summarise, day 3, my nap of the day for day 3 would probably be Monolly. I really like Monolly, class horse. If Defi Desoy turns up in the JLT as well, I'll definitely be on side by the side of him. What story Paisley Park would be, like I said earlier, if he could win for his owner. But yeah, Monolly, my nap for day 3.